in Yorkton Barber, Miss Ainsley. You'd want to see this, I'm sure. So when I saw this, I paused and stepped back. It's twice the size of my place in Flin Flon. It actually has an ironing board. Look at the size of this counter. It's stone. Oh, but a little bug though. Oh, hello there. Another bug. Another bug. Two different species of bugs. Interesting. Interesting. How do we turn these lights on? I'm going to pause this for a moment. I'm going to order some pizza. Give me a moment. Because look, a phone. A real phone. No phone book. Hello, thank you. I'm staying at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in town here. I'd like to place an order for one large for delivery, please. Bacon, green pepper, mushroom, and sausage, please. Actually, do you have anchovies? Do you have anchovies for a pizza topping? Thank you. Bacon, green pepper, mushroom, anchovy. Say again, sir? Bacon. Oh, we will try one more time. Bacon, green pepper, mushroom, yes, and sausage. The address, I think there's only one Holiday Inn in town, right? Thank you. My room number 216. That's all I need. How many minutes? Thank you kindly. 25 minutes. Okay, Bear. Ainsley Collect. How did today go on Standing Buffalo First Nation? Well, before that, I didn't quite have the shirt I wanted to wear. The pants I wanted to wear. I was in Craven there. So I needed to go down to Ruby and look for the clothes I wanted to wear, and that's where I found the bag that you can see there. At first I felt angry because something's being pushed into my life that I didn't ask for. I felt it was sneaky. I felt it, violated. But there was more than just the moccasins in there. Look, there's not one, not two, but 3 cards. And a Dr. Pepper. That's when I realized, oh, I should leave a gift behind for those three as well. I thought about it, I would have written a card, I would have at one point, but now I've gotten a little more busy. I don't have time to be so cute with my cards, and I've been so discouraged from writing the cards, and I've just maybe lost my way a bit about writing those cards. I don't have them anymore, do I? And I had the idea. I said, yeah, I'll stop at the co-op and I'll get them at least, 3 coffees or 2 coffees and a hot chocolate. But of course, Barb, by now you know that I got an extra large, a large, and a medium. The extra large coffee, that blend was kind of 2/3 the French press with, I think, 1/3, 1 part, I want to say Colombian, and then of course a handsome portion of half and half, 10% cream, no sweetener. The large coffee was 2 parts breakfast, 1 part Nicaraguan. The medium, and of course a handsome portion of half and half cream, no sweetener. The medium coffee was, I believe, 2 parts Colombian, 1 part breakfast blend, and a handsome portion of half and half cream, no sweetener. Accompanying those beverages was a cherry chipotle from Babco Meats, beef jerky. It's a good portion, maybe 300 grams. It was a good size package. Sierra blend trail mix, and pistachios still in the shells, I think lightly salted. And while I'm doing that, a man that I once reprimanded on behalf of a woman who once told me how she had just been treated. And this happened in Lumsden. And as soon as it happened, I went right up to the man. I called him over. I said, come here. I said, what you just did, don't do it. You did this to her. So don't do it. I said, no, look at me. Not here. Not in Canada. Look at her. Say sorry. Very good. Like, don't do that again. Okay? Okay? And then I started smiling again. It's like, yeah. That was the man that approached me. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. I'm like, oh, hey. We started talking. He says, I live in your apartment now. I'm like, oh, neat. I go, wait a minute. I have knowledge for you. And I told him the story with more detail, because this is in person, of the story of the badger and the king. We'll put it that way, to help this man protect his family and be aware of the way the king sometimes acts. And now he has that knowledge. And I go and pay for the drinks and sit in the car, and I just kind of sit in Ruby, get ready, square away the items on that passenger seat. I went, oh, right. I missed one thing, and it's a good thing because I only have so many hands, right? The firewood. It's like, why would you purchase firewood for your daughters? It's like, well, it's wintertime. Your daughters and your wife. Why would you leave behind firewood? And that little axe head and that little pack of wooden matches. And it's once I needed, when I lived in the city, I needed a little carving knife, was the advice from the old men in the church, because Mom asked around. She said, you know what, I have this son of mine, you all know of him, you know, he's Davy, like, you see him all the time at the hockey rink with his dad and helping you guys out. You all spend more time with my son sometimes than I do. What's your advice for me? How can I help him? Right? Maybe just to settle down or to focus, or just, you know, how can I help him? What tool or technique? I don't think she maybe even necessarily said, how can I help him settle down or focus? But there's like, what one little thing can I give this young man that might really make a difference in his life at this age? So what did the old men recommend? Pocket knife, about that one. The locking blade. And that worked very well for a boy, for me. I reflected on it a lot. I know Ainsley, I know Briar. I say, I don't think they know how to build a fire very well. I've seen them, I think they're, you know, it's okay. I think they're willing to try, but they need a lot more practice. They need a lot more encouragement. They need to do it not with their dad around. They need to do it just with themselves. They need to do it by themselves. They need to practice, because this is a very important skill. And when I explained it to their mom, I said, this is what you can do. I said, Briar, every week is able to earn, at the end of the week, you'll award her 5, 10, or 15 minutes that she's earned to go out on a special day on Friday, or right? Every week she gets that particular day, and no, you're not allowed to take her off to Weyburn or something, because like that's her time. If you're going to Weyburn, you got to be before or after. She gets her practice time, because it cuts out some of that variability for her, that she can just start to practice at that same time a day all the time. And then once she gets that, then you can introduce more variation, because in the beginning, as you know, every week she can work up 5, 10, or 15 minutes can be awarded on that day. And of course, similarly for Ainsley, 5, 10, or 15 minutes can be awarded for her for the end of the week. Or you might even actually think, because Ainsley's substantially older, maybe she needs more encouragement because she's a teenager now. Maybe every day Ainsley gets to earn up to 5, 10, or 15 minutes. Or maybe that's suitable for Briar too. Every day she gets to be awarded 5, 10, up to 15 minutes, where she gets to just baby and nurse and take care of this fire from the very beginning. She gets to plan it out. She gets to create it. She gets to feel all the anguish and the focus and the trying, and then the grief and the loss and the disappointment when it doesn't happen, and the jubilation and the pride and the confidence when it does. And you get 5 minutes from the beginning, from when like you get out to that, you know, Travis's old little that 4-patch of the concrete at the duplex there. When you walk out, you look up at mom and you guys go 3, 2, 1, and that's when your timers start. Now you have 5 minutes. Or now you have 10, or now you have 15. I'm curious what you can do in 5. I'm not sure what I could do. 10? At 15, you should definitely be able to boil. What do you figure? Half a liter of water or a cup? At least, you know, make a cup of tea within 15 minutes by this age. And that becomes the fun and the challenge of maybe it can be a liter. Maybe it becomes 600 liters. What's the family record? That's a great way to compete. And that, Ainsley and Briar, is a Boy Scout story. Because many, many, many years ago, Jason Antonio, Kyle Greenlee, myself, and Steve Shakespeare was our troop leader. The 4 of us competed in the Klondike days in West Canada Park. Who is it? Thank you kindly. Hello.
Hi, sir. How are you?
Doing great. You have 25 minutes and you're not fast enough. Thank you. You have change, yes?
Yes. Sir, I am coming back. Just 22 minutes.
What was the total?
83106, sir.
3106.
I am coming back.
Thank you kindly. So we have, I can hear my wife cursing me out right now. So you don't do that, you don't just give people $100, blah, 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 blah. You're gonna say, now you have to trust people, you never remember. Watch this. Watch this. Because of course he's not necessarily carrying cash with him in a hotel room. He could get jumped, right? Because he has to look out for his safety. But they said 25 minutes and they're already here within 16 or something. I was like, interesting. I'm so far really impressed with the size and design of this building, the timeliness, professionalism of the dominoes here. But as I'm looking at some of the bugs on the floor, 2 different species, I'm intrigued. I am very intrigued. You just hear the elevator ding. I know exactly who's getting off that elevator. Wonderful. Thank you, Tony. What was your name, please?
My name?
Yes.
My name is Hardeep, sir. Hardeep.
Hardeep.
Yes, sir.
Pleasure. Well done. Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for
sir.
everything.
Have a good one.
Told you so. Everything down to the everything. 50, 60. Yeah, So you might wonder, well, why didn't you tip them? You know, these people worked very hard and so forth. It's like, you're right. But when you tip and just throw away money like that, which you could say it's throwing away or you could not, that reduces the number of times that you can actually transact with them again. And that's ultimately what they need more than anything, more than a few tips here and there. They still need to have a job. When I say they, I mean all of us. So I'd say maybe stop tipping all around, and then you're able to order more and more services from each other everywhere. Kind of sucks both ways. But at the end of the day, it means everyone still has a job and more people have jobs. So I'm gonna relocate, get ready to eat this pizza.
You know, call me picky, but I was trained well. That's hair. That's something else. Okay.
I was talking about Klondike days and the 3 scouts. It might have been ventures at the time. When you graduate scouting program, you get to go up into ventures. You know, we were small but mighty. Steve Shakespeare was former British SAS. And I always wondered for a long time, like, man, well, how did he keep going? He only had like 1, 2, you know, like going down to 3 of us. I get it now. It's like the fewer the numbers, the higher the quality. When we first started one of his kind of retired ventures, Geordie, I think was his name. He was a University of Regina student, kind of like, you know, 1920, something when I was 13 or 14. And he was even coming down, like he went through all the program with Steve Shakespeare. And he was even coming down. For some reason, Geordie stopped showing up and he never told us why. He never kind of let us know, hey, by the way, I'm not going to be seeing you guys anymore because I'm moving to BC or whatever. And he just kind of stopped going. But yeah, the 3 of us. So then we were down to 4, or from 4 in the program with 1 leader. So Steve, I guess when I met him, he would have been 1 scoutmaster, 1 scoutmaster assistant, and 3 scouts. Me, Jason, and Kyle. And then Geordie, you know, the pressures of university, of course. He had to pull back. But Steve kept going. You never even had any sense that he even questioned us, like, did he ever question stop? 3 of us scouts kept going. We stayed with them. And then all of a sudden, he had 3 ventures. And yeah, we competed at the Klondike days in Regina, Saskatchewan, in West Canada Park. It would have been, I don't know. Well, Samajam, I think, was 97. And I think that was when we collapsed after how I treated Jason. I think kind of I don't think we recovered from that. Maybe it was 98, Samajam. 97 or 98. It might have been that winter just before that we competed as a solid group for Klondike days. And where I'm going with this is one of the categories that the Scouts would compete against in the Klondike days was it was a timed event. And from the moment you guys kind of say, like, we're ready, your team, doesn't matter how big or small your team is, you are competing against other Scout teams to boil, I think it was like 2 cups of water, 500 mils in as short a period of time as possible. With, you couldn't do it with like compressed gas or torches. It had to be with a fire. It had to be a fire that you started on purpose. You couldn't be walking around with like briquettes around your neck or something, like smoldering briquettes or something that you set them down and then, nope. And I can kind of see now how it would be neat to re-compete on some of these events. Yeah. Another was you'd compete against other teams for time for like that. You've seen like that team snowshoeing or that team skiing where there's 2 sets of 2x4s, or a set of 2x4s I should say, laying on the ground, and there's several loops where your feet can go in, and then there's another set of loops with your buddy behind you, and another set of loops with your buddy behind you, so you can get a good long chain. And then there's a longer loop of rope at the front just for someone to kind of hold on and kind of to steer. And that's how you compete. It's like if you're a team of 3, then you're a team of 3. And you're competing against it. Well, if they're a team of 12, then they're a team of 12. Or however many can fit on, 8 or 10 loops to it. I remember that part we struggled with because we hadn't practiced it. We didn't necessarily have the communication. Yeah, but I remember just still having fun with it though. Sorry, not having fun. Enjoying the struggle, like trying to work through it and stuff. But yeah, I'm not sure if we got last, or I can't remember how we got placed. Or Kyle or Jason would remember. Steve Shakespeare, he died a few years back. We saw his obituary in the Leader Post. And Kyle, when we last bumped into each other in Regina there, he was being a mechanic. I think it was like automobile, like passenger vehicle mechanic, and Jason is I'm sure he's an editor by now, but he's like a reporter in like a small town newspaper, like publication, like rural Saskatchewan. I want to say like Nipawin maybe or so, like kicking butt. We last bumped into each other. Care to guess, where would you meet where would 2 Boy Scouts meet up after not seeing each other for like 20 years? Where would they meet up? Unplanned. Yeah, there'd be a couple of good guesses. But yep, volunteering. Corner of Broad and Broadway, the Canadian Blood Services. So anyways, that's the value of that firewood. It's a timeless gesture, right? It means something. The husband isn't going to be seeing his his family for a while. Hitting into winter, he leaves them some firewood. Whatever they do with it, it's kind of irrelevant, but there's a timeless awareness. It's like, that means something, even if you don't have a wood burning stove. And it gives him comfort knowing that his family is just a little better prepared for winter, and it warms their spirit a bit. Just knowing that, oh, he was thinking of us, like, oh, he's so thoughtful, he's so diligent, oh, like, everything's gonna be okay. From there, I headed out to Emerald Park. I couldn't quite find the co-op because this time it was still dark, and dark in November. Whereas when I headed up to Flin Flon the first time, at the end of August there, that was about 10 o'clock in the morning, bright summer day. No problem finding the co-op with the car wash, because I was planning on washing my car too. Giving Ruby a bath. Couldn't find it. Like, oh, I can't quite see it down there. I don't really know. So I think it was the SO this morning at Emerald Park. We got to just do that, and that's when I gave Ruby a drink, filled her up, and actually went to the washroom because I don't just want to sit in my car feeling all weird and just go to the washroom, my makeshift office for a bit, and then just from there, that's when I sent off the videos that I'd recorded in the Craven hotel room there. So everyone got those from there. Yeah, when I walked into the SO, the clerk, she's from, let's say like the Mughal Empire, right? A Mughal. So, Pakistan, India, or Bangladesh, that region. And this is hi, but she sounded kind of just, it's a job, right? I said, good morning. She responds back, good morning. Yeah. And I come out, because I was in there for a while, probably 15 or maybe even 20 minutes, just like transitioning, doing my thing, and then wash my face, and just wash my glasses, make sure they're clean and ready to go. Having a good drink, place my face under that faucet and just have a good slurp of prairie water. Straight from the tap. And head out to back onto Highway 1 until I hit the branch, or the little overpass, Briar. You start peeling off to the left. You keep going a little bit past Emerald Park. If you keep going, you will have a choice. You stay to the right, and you can start heading out to Winnipeg, which is the way you'd be most familiar with driving on that road, sweetie. Or the road that Ainsley has driven on with me once before, is you can choose Oh, sorry, Ainsley has driven on that road twice with me. I've misspoken. You have driven on this road with me once before, because when we did the family reunion at Belcaris 2.5 years ago, you'd recognize the train overpass. And that puts us on Highway 10. And we start driving and driving and driving. And I saw 2 farm dogs. I'm like, oh, I would love this. Daddy. And I admitted it right away to my girls, my group. It's like, hey, here's the mistake I made. Let's all kind of, mock me and reprimand me on it, because it's sensible that if I expect I'm able to kind of comment on your behavior, I want to also benefit you by admitting when I've missed the standard. Just admit that. So like, learn from my moments, learn from my mistakes. Drive on for a while, and you start to see Pasqua First Nation. This way, turn left. Pasqua First Nation. Like, okay, cool. I'm like, wait, I'll drive back. Like, oh yeah. Okay, yeah, so check the map. So yeah, that would be Edgeley then. Yeah, there's the sign, Edgeley. Okay. Double check the map. Turn around again. Okay, now we're heading east again on Highway 10. And I remember, like, yeah, I think it's maybe Highway 210, I want to say from memory, that we take a turn, and I took a picture of it, of the road signs, because I wanted to comment on it, and I wanted to be like, but maybe it's just something for me to keep in mind, because it doesn't say Standing Buffalo First Nation this way. It says provincial, Echo Provincial Park this way. What? Where's Standing Buffalo First Nation? This is just me, right? So we're driving on this road for a little while. That's a good tree. So I stop and introduce myself to the tree for a little bit. And I keep driving. Oh, they got another sign. Oh, Pasqua First Nation. To your left. Still no mention of Standing Buffalo First Nation. Just kind of think about it, and it's neat. And keep going. Then all of a sudden, there it is, down the hill, like down the south side, or in the south side of the Copel Valley. And I'm driving through it. It's like speed limit 50. And typical signs that we see most of the time, Lumsden, Craven, Regina, Weyburn. Keep going. All of a sudden, sign on the right. It's like, you are now entering Standing Buffalo First Nation. See up ahead. Speed limit's now 40, and right underneath that sign it says, slow down, watch for pedestrians, in yellow. So I just pause and I take a picture of that. Before I entered into Standing Buffalo First Nation, I just take a picture of it back. Like, there's Copel River. There's a little bridge over the Copel River. And it's like, as soon as you're across, it's like, oop, there you go. You are now on Standing Buffalo First Nation. And
to the Buffalo Crossing. It's a gas station and store, kind of like pretty good grocery store where you can get some pretty good supplies and stuff. I didn't do a walk around. Need to keep that in mind next time I walk right up to the. Actually, I start to, I go, oh, I should probably look around more. So I try to a little bit, but it's a little focused. I see the counter. It's a big, tall man. But even like his clothing, his style, right? It's a little different. Different good, but also different. And what the different in this case means is just maybe approach this person with a little more care and self-awareness. Remember, you're not buying gas. You're here for a gift. So you don't need to walk right up to the counter because you're not even sure if they have what you want. This approach so far, and oh yeah, there's another. He's more my size, like smaller than this. Very tall, very powerful, like tall and also wide set shoulders as well. So you definitely want this man on your tug of war team. And in life in general, you definitely want this man on your team. Yeah, just forgive me. So kind of like big guy, little guy. And the little, see the big guy, he doesn't really have a changing facial expression at all. It just, he sees me and he's got kind of like he's wearing a hat. It's kind of a hip hop type hat. I'm like, oh, cool, like this is neat. And the gas jockey guy, like he's more, like the small guy, he's more friendly. He's smiling at me and stuff. And he's got like some little bit of facial hair down here. Like, cool. But look at the man behind the counter. He said, a small package of Demorier loose tobacco, please. A small pouch of. He just pauses. For tobacco, like we only have players number 7 or. Can't remember what the type was. Maybe I should have kept the receipt that he offers me later in the story. He says, okay, we'll need to go to the smoke shop, the smoke room. Okay, so the runner, the little guy, the gas jockey, his co-worker, goes to the back, talks to does what he needs to do, and then a minute or so, a lady comes out. You can hear the keys jingling, and you say, yeah, like what do you need? And the big man behind the counter says, and describes the pouch of tobacco, players number 7 light, or whatever it's called. The pouch. And he says, okay, clink, 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 keys. And gets it out, and runner runs it up to the counter. All this time I haven't moved my perch. We're just still such a distance, so I ought to say more of a respectful distance instead of just walking right up into someone's bubble. You don't know how big their bubble is, right? That was neat, such a price. And then I'm like, oh yeah, this is a good time to just kind of get organized because I have blankets to gift, I have a cot to gift, but I want to just organize my vehicle just a little bit. This is a good opportunity because I feel safe here, and I thought that I don't feel safe in Flin Flon. It's like there's a time and a place for things. And so when you're the new guy in town, where is the appropriate time to just all of a sudden stop your vehicle and totally repack your vehicle, suggesting to people that maybe you're living in your car or something, like, hey, what's going on? And you know, normally you do that in your driveway at home or when you get to your campsite. You know, but anyways, I could do it at my hotel. I have a little bit, but it's also prudent to just to be aware. Anyways, I just get to do that. I just get to kind of rearrange Ruby a little bit, find some garbage, clean it out, get to go through my clipboard and just organize that. If you want to listen to the radio, it's the story of Jordan Tutu, the NHL's first Inuk hockey player. I think they said he played in the NHL for 14 years. And his build, same height as me, 5'8". And his job on the team was an enforcer. And so one of the questions was that is echoed from this documentary that is being described about him. It's like, how do you go up against these guys that are 6'4", 230 pounds? He says, well, I'm from up north, and when you're hunting or you're fishing and you find yourself face to face with a polar bear or a wolverine or a pack of wolves, it's like you got to square up. He's like, so no, anyone I ever came across in the NHL, it's like, ugh, that's just a man. Oh, whoa. And I was sharing some of those quotes to mommy a little bit as it's coming through, kind of getting her reaction. We got to share it together a little bit. I think this is the time to journal a little bit. It's like I almost wanted to pray a little bit. It's like, please let the mistakes I make be small and funny, you know. But I didn't. Pardon me, but I didn't. Just kind of write out, maybe not even a sentence, kind of 70 characters, just a few words. I'm like, that's sufficient. I don't need to say more than that. It's nice. I'm just waiting. I just get to kind of enjoy the story. The CBC interviewing this Jordan Tutu. He's still alive and he sounds so young. I have no idea what his age is. You know, he could be 70 or something, but the way he speaks, and it's like he sounds more like between 35 and 45 on the radio. Just because that's the effect of health and so forth, is that northern air. Then eventually, you know, Michelle calls. She goes, hey, was like, sorry, you know, I was expecting you to call me, but I see you were texting me. And it's like, where are you? See, I'm at the Buffalo Crossing. She's like, okay, you know, you gonna come up? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I can. So we figured out that, yeah, I'm driving up. It's maybe too windy. Because I commented and we agree later. It's like, I thought you'd mentioned that you were gonna walk down and then we'd walk back up together. And she's like, yeah, I did. But I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's like, plans change. You know, it's different weather, but it's just in part kind of testing my memory, but also testing, like, how does this person respond when I offer up my memories of what happened? Because I did catch myself later speaking differently. Cause I changed it because I said, you know, like, and then what you said was, you know, I was like, wait, whoa, that's not a very good way of speaking to someone. I said, pardon me. What I next remember hearing is, and then what I next remember hearing is myself saying, and then what I next remember hearing is you saying, and she goes, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I did say that. And it just felt nice that, like, oh, so maybe one day that will happen. Or not. But maybe one day that will happen. Just get to walk up together. And then she said, oh, she said, oh, I'll take you to see the buffalo, you know, grazing. I said, yeah. That never did happen today. But I mentioned it a few times. She goes, oh, yeah, I gotta go sleep. Well, that's a sign of a good, what would you call a good visit? When, like, Mom used to always say, you know, especially when you're visiting family, but when you're visiting anybody, you'd say, like, leave while you're still invited back. Or you could say, like, leave while it still hurts to leave. Or, you know, you can put that many different ways. It's almost like you could say, leave before you want to. Maybe you could also say, leave before you have to leave. So start driving up. She's telling me which way to go, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, like, I know, like, I can, you know, there's the four corners, the four roads. And, oh, okay, so I was able to recalibrate my mind a little bit. Like, that's the scale of the map that we were looking at. I was following, like, the Google Maps. It didn't have air photo, but it did have just the vector map. And so we were able to orient and landmark with her descriptions and my observing the lines. She walked me up, like, you know, with my mind the previous day over the phone. So when I arrived there, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, now I can see it. And she was using the same description types. Okay, this is, you know, this is how you start. You walk up that. I think the speed limit's 60. No, actually, no, right. Remember, the speed limit's 40. Watch for pedestrians. Yeah. That's right. I've got to keep that in mind better. Because I have memories of being in other places in the province, driving bigger vehicle, and being required to drive much faster on much worse roads. And these roads are wide and well maintained, very well maintained. And I kept feeling bad later, you know, like, oh, like I'm only driving 40. Like, no, I'm just gonna slow down and drive cautiously. But yeah, now that I remember it, the speed limit is 40, and I was driving 40. Like that's the maximum. It's 40. So yeah, I would have been a lot more comfortable if I'd probably been even driving 30 or something. But and then we're talking. Oh yeah, you can see that. She's like, "Are you driving a blue something?" I said, "No, I'm driving a Ruby." Like same thing. As you've always seen me drive. I said, "But I know, but I can see the vehicle that you're thinking." So it's like, okay, so I knew. So she's looking at that. I can see that. Therefore, she must be here. And then it seemed like 5 minutes. It might have been only 2 or 3, but it seemed like 5 minutes. Just driving 40 kilometers. And we're still talking on the phone, and it's like, okay, I can see it. And I'm thinking in my head, like, okay, my guess is this is how the terrain is gonna lay. And sure enough, I felt like my dad in that moment where he's able to understand the land and stuff as a farmer. It's like, well, I finally developed that ability as well, just with all my efforts, just wanting to learn that skill as well. We're driving. Yeah, just behind the aspens all of a sudden. Hey, there's Sesame Street. It's like, hey, did you get? I can see you. And so I'm looking more intently. It's like, okay, if she can see me, then which one is hers? And you know, what's her vantage point? You'd never be able to guess. Yep. I'm driving down. Like, okay, and which one is? I'm like, oh, I know yours because like I see more of the dogs there all of a sudden. That that's the one that has any dogs. And I'm like, oh yeah, well of course. Yeah. And so it's just lovely. We got to cook. He's like, oh, like, are you hungry? Well, yeah, I'm not hungry. And he's like, we should cook some like your steaks. You know, you can cut up the onion and the garlic, and you cut up the potatoes too. I'm like, yeah, this is great. So we got to like cook together. It's like, well, Ainsley Briar, you know what the last time I cooked with someone was, because I cooked with you. How long ago was that, ladies? And how awesome does that feel when you get to cook with someone? Yeah. And we went on a tour. She's like, well, let's, okay, you want to go to town? I'm like, yeah, let's go to town. And they go to Fort Capel and showed me the ways and the routes. And then we got to walk up and down Broadway Street. I think it's street, not an avenue, Broadway Street. Fort Capel. And that took us a good long, because there's a lot of need. And that was only on a Monday. Some of the good businesses also, like Pet Palace, they have like a Tuesday to Friday type hours, and then maybe open special hours on Saturday, but they're not open on Mondays. There's some neat shops. We started just in front of, no, they call it the florist, but I call it like just the age of some of these plants, like the cacti and stuff, and how they responded to our discussion and observations. I shared it back to him again. It's like, well, this is what I've already mentioned. Yeah, but I said it to him. It's like, I know your name is, you know, florist, but like, just what you have in here, and just some of the age and caliber of some of these potted plants. It feels like botanical gardens in here. And I've touched some of the plants. Michelle's like, oh no, don't touch. Don't touch, you're gonna hurt them, you're gonna hurt the plants. I was like, no, it's okay. I didn't even flinch. Right? It's like, no, like, I'm allowed to touch. Like, they're not gonna, she's like, they're gonna yell at you, they're gonna, it's like, oh, they're not. Like, they know that, you know, that I'm being kind and gentle, and they know that I know. Just by watching me for a moment, they'll be able to see and understand that, yeah, no, I know how to approach plants, and this one, and that was just neat. I was like, oh, okay. Then we got to talk about this cactus and actually kind of, we'll see how it turns out, but we offered our observation about what we think is maybe wrong with the cactus. It's growing so close to this window. We will see what comes of that. And keep walking, keep walking. She's like, you want to see the RCP? I'm like, nope. She's like, you want to see the police? I'm like, nope. She's like, you want to see the courthouse? I go, yes. She's like, oh, good, because I need to pee. And as we're getting up to the courthouse, there's not just a statue, there's a limestone statue. It's a limestone statue of a man holding a golden eagle. I'm like, whoa. And at the base of it, it's a four-sided slope is the base. And on each one is a plaque that's saying more and more things, and just not more things, but is describing how actually just behind that little grass area, it looks like a great place to whatever, that it's kind of perimetered off by this brick and like these just, it's a peculiar architecture, but they also have fruit trees growing on it, so it's kind of like, what's going on? And the big old spruce trees, again, like, what's going on? Well, you read these 4 plaques and it'll explain to you that actually, I'm not quite sure if the plaque does a good enough job of explaining it. Because Michelle was describing what the plaque was off. She was sharing, well, oh yeah, like this is what happened, and like, I'll save that part for the in-person point. But at one point I was reading one of these plaques. I think it's the last one. Yeah, so we started with front, worked around counterclockwise, and on that last one it says, you know, and on this date, the chiefs for this area, you know, I don't think it would be by erecting the statue. I think it was by laying that plaque, you know, reaffirmed and their commitment to the treaty and the principles that, you know, like, oh wow. Now that's when I started to get kind of hot under the collar. Like, hey, I've got some questions. Like, where's Queen Victoria's commissioners reaffirming of her commitment to the treaties? Like, here you have one half of the agreement. Well, where's the other half reaffirming theirs? And I think people have maybe been saying that about us, Colette, for a very, very long time when they see, like, you know, I'm being super patient and all this stuff. And it's like just kind of letting my daughters get beat up and bullied and all this stuff. And it's like, I just like, guys, it's a process. Like, you don't understand. Like, I said, look, not that she will do my laundry when I ask, but she'll kind of tease it out of me. It's like, hey, and if you need anything, like, you need laundry, like don't hesitate, like, you know. I was like, you know what, like, I'm gonna take her up on that. And so I do it. So I get my laundry back. Well, it's folded. It's like, oh wow. Just little things like that. And then the next day I realized, like, actually, I'm gonna, you know, wash some of these up too, just because in part it's convenient for me to just get them right now into this bag, but also it's like, hey, I haven't washed these myself for a while, and yay, I'll get to have laundry that smells like my daughter's, and maybe that will carry me through for a few more weeks. And you know, if I really plot it out, it's like I could keep these smells of the clothing for a very long time if I kind of keep that in mind. So that's part of my response a little bit. They're like, I've been thinking like this with my marriage for the past 10 years of just kind of having that faith and constantly reaffirming and restating and committing. And then I got to see a statue today of something completely different, totally different topic. Still related to family, I suppose. Oh, that's painful. It's like, this used to be a cemetery? Oh. Okay, keep reading the plaques. Okay, keep reading the plaques. And on that last plaque, it's like, we reaffirm that, like, we, you know, as far as we're concerned, the treaties are still being upheld. And that's important because it's a little bit of a warning. It's like, has anyone studied demographics? But anyways, at the statue, when I saw that fourth plaque, it just kind of felt neat that, like, here I'm in a place where the way I've been interacting with people for so long, when they hear of my story, they start telling me what to do, and then I have to constantly explain back. It's like, no, like, it's gonna be okay. Like, it's not what you think. I'm fighting a different way. I'm not gonna fight her in a courtroom. I'm gonna fight her in just, you know, depth of love, and I'm just gonna dig deeper. And then I see a plaque that kind of has that same sentiment or philosophy. There was a feeling there. And then we carried on. It's like, oh yeah, there's this other store. It's kind of far. Do you want to go to that? I'm like, yeah, I want to go to that, and walk around and share stories and just get to see the different supplies and things, and keep going. Now it's time to, now we're heading west again down Broadway. Oh, there's a pet house, but they're closed. And oh, look at this. This is a restaurant. And it's a Chinese restaurant. And there's a man sitting in his van. In the windows, it's just plastered with jade plants. Just thick with jade plants. And so I could tell by his body language and his behavior that, like, our English communication probably wouldn't be very strong. So I'm kind of gesturing at his plants a little bit, like, oh, like, I love, you know, showing that, like, I like the plants. And then he rolls down his window, and again, nothing. It's like, Kung Hei Fa Chai? right? Like, is that your language? Like that means something, right? In its good things, like the New Year's greeting in Mandarin. And he didn't light up or respond or anything, but he also didn't grumpy his face. So I got to try practicing, and nothing bad came from it. So that's still a win. And then, as we keep walking, I get to meet Corporal Dennis, retired Air Force weapons specialist. Because there's a second-hand store right before we get back to Ruby in front of the Botanical Gardens florist on Broadway. And his mannerisms and his behavior, even his size, was so much like Papa Jack. I recognized his style right away. Michelle's coming past, and it's like, there's a bit, oh, hey, he gets animated, and I'm like, hey, you know, and well, him and I now start talking and sharing stories and just hanging out. The whole time I'm still holding the door open, suggesting that like my intent is still to go in there, but he's quite content to hold his spot in place and just enjoy the conversation and enjoy feeling like, hey, I'm talking with someone finally. It's like one of the first things he says to me, he's like, all these people around here think I'm a bum. I don't even really feel like, so like, that's their choice. And he starts telling me, he's like, I'm a veteran. And a person would walk by, I was like, hey, have you met? He's like, hey, he's a veteran. And he keeps talking to me, you know, telling stories, and you know, they're like, oh, like, he's a corporal. Oh, he's retired Air Force. So then another person comes, hey, have you met? He's a retired corporal, Air Force. And I just get better and better by practicing. And this one lady, oh, she had just, what a sour grape. Walking in, like, you could just kind of read it on her thing, you clean up this town, right? Just, holy Dinah, go back to your church group, would you? This is like, that's where I felt the most judgment from people, is like these hyper churchy people. Anyways, speaking of, or maybe it was something completely different. Maybe she just had a death in her family, or we never do know what's going on in other people's minds. The sense I got from her face and body language was that she didn't think very highly of either of us, and that she was feather ruffled. But again, it's like, hey, have you met? She didn't really respond, just like, she seemed angry at us. And time goes on, we're sharing stories, he's telling me about his boxing and how he like one punch guys, and like 8 guys in the bar like papa, 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 because he did that for like so many years of boxing. Just like a gifted storyteller. He's also telling me about other things that and one of the things that, like, what he's most proud of is like, you know, people this, people that to me. He's like, but I'm gonna outlive them all. Just as like I'm, you know, just about 80 or something. He's just, you know, this happened to my leg, and I was, you know, legally dead for this long, and you know, I've been blown up before, and he's like, I'm gonna outlive them all. And then finally this lady walks out again, and I mean, people walked in and out since, but that lady, grumpiest of all, she walks out. I was like, hey, like, you know. And this, you know, and this was, or you missed an opportunity to meet or have a conversation with, or something. I brought it up again that, like, you know, this is, you know, Corporal Dennis, weapons specialist, Canadian Armed Forces. And then she's walking away, right? And he's like, oh, like, people don't care about me or anything like that. And he's like, no, it's like, or they could have been like, thank you for your service, Corporal Dennis. You know, it's like, this. And he'd laugh and stuff, and then that was the loudest I got, or just the most jubilant. And he's also trying to show him a little bit and kind of pushing back on the town, like, hey, like, do you guys really treat each other like this? And then he says, like, hey, like, you don't have to, like, you know, so, like, you'd like me to stop. And he doesn't like agree, like, yeah, thanks, but he just kind of very gentle body motions, he says, you know, we can't force people to respect me, or we can't make people respect me. And I didn't have a response to that. I just, at this point, I just started to listen more and more and more. And I think you kind of reach the point, it's like, okay, the first time or two it was fun, but it's time to stop. And he communicated that artfully. And then Michelle comes out, and just the way he interacted with her was different. But yeah, Michelle stands there for a good long while and just listens to the story too, and she's, you know, but then it's like, okay, yeah, it's, you know, we're gonna carry on, it's time to go. And I shake his hand. It's like, yeah, like, thank you for your story. It was a pleasure to meet you, Corporal Dennis. And, you know, and now we're all walking together. And he's like, you know, like, you know, no one really called me, you know, they never called me corporal. It's like, and by the way, I'm like retired corporal. And he's just kind of like working through, like, I know that, but like, he says, hey, did you want to meet my partner? You could tell there's some humor in his voice, but it's like, well, that's the black lab that was actually saying hi and barking at us when we started our walk so many hours before. Now he's ready to finish kind of his tour of downtown, or Main Street, Broad Street. He's going to start talking a bit more. He tells more stories about how so much in his time in the military, like, you know, the officer would be like, hey, like, come have a drink with us. Come to the officer's mess. He's like, buddy, like, I can't. Like, I'm a corporal. I'm an enlisted member. Like, nope. You're Mr. Dennis. Get over here. You're with us. You're with me. So, wow, okay, thanks. And the same thing he said would happen with you know, with the sergeants and warrant officers. The NCOs, non-commissioned officers. They say, hey, like, come come have a drink with me and, you know, come to my, you know, officer's mess. Like, you know, like I can't, like, you know, get in a lot of trouble. He's like, ah, forget that. You're Mr. Dennis. Like that was, you know, that was neat. And then we carried on. Like, okay, like I'm driving. Like, yeah, I know how to get out of here. Right? You just keep driving straight and go here and go here. And it's like, where are you going? Like, where are you taking me? I'm like, well, like we said back to, he's like, you're going the wrong way. It's back there. Like, he calls himself a map maker, and I make fun of myself, and she starts laughing. I'm like, good. It's like, yeah, of course I'm a map maker. I'm a great map maker, and that's the joke. Is when I'm putting these times and experiences, it's like I'm trying to learn. It's like there's a different level of things in detail to pay attention to. And it's different exploring around in a car. It's different trying to like learn and absorb a new place at a car speed while also driving. I have a lot more experience doing that as a passenger. Okay, we're getting like you share the role where it's like someone's driving, someone's navigating. And obviously Michelle was navigating. But anyways. Moving off that okay. And he calls himself a map. And got to take the scenic road back, so kind of perimetering out the east portion of Standing Buffalo First Nation, the way in and the way out to Fort Capel. And we oven roasted up the tandoori chicken left over from Sunday evening's family meal, and cooked up some of the leftover naan, both as supper bread and as dessert bread, with some of the drizzled sweetened condensed milk, mint leaf, and the seasoning on the bread, the naan bread, was a little bit of Montreal steak spice, a little bit of rosemary, dried, and a little bit of basil. I'm just going to take the spoon into a bowl and just going to crush that down so it makes it more into a fine powder. That worked. And then well, it was funny. So you get to go to the washroom. So I'm at Michelle's, and like she goes to the washroom first when he gets home. That makes sense. It's her place. Okay, and she comes out. She's like, "Kate, go to the washroom." I'm like, okay. So I go to the washroom. There's a sign. It's like, you know, please flush the toilet with the toilet seat down. I don't want your pee and particles all over my bathroom. If you don't follow this rule, you won't be using my bathroom again. I'm like, cool, yeah, that's cool. I'm just, looking around and just like, okay, whatever. And then just habits. I get up, flush the toilet, like, oh! As soon as I hear that noise, like, oh, and I quickly scramble and close the toilet. I'm like, I almost lost my bathroom privileges on my first time. And come out, because I didn't see this on the way in, but then on the way out, I'm like, why is this on the wall? Oh wait, I try to figure it out. I'm like, okay, this seems government-y, but I don't know what it is. So I'm looking at, I think the languages. Well, Standing Buffalo First Nation is Sioux, but I'm not sure what the language is. Dakota written or Dakota, I'm not sure, or maybe it's Sioux language, I'm not sure. Plains Cree, I don't know. But anyways, I asked her for help. I say, hey, like I found something really interesting, but I need some help to understand what it really is. Like, oh, and this is coming on. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, now I see it. It's on this right hand side is in English, and the left is like most likely the same thing, but in different words, because a lot of signatures on the bottom and stuff, and a lot, 20 or some signatures on this document, and it's kind of like the oath of office for all the band members for band council, the First Nation leadership. So I got to read that out. That was special. It's like and then yeah, baked up the chicken like I said. Baked and broiled, turned it off. And then 2-3 minutes before I called, you called me. But there was already this indication of like, I don't know if it's well intended or if there's something else when someone's telling me that your kid's not going to want to talk to you very much tonight. It's like, why are you telling me this? Why can't my kid tell me? Like, are you trying to be helpful? Or are you planting seeds and putting wedges? Or are you just a little, just none of that? You're just kind of, learning and well-intending and just still settling into your role. But I don't like it. Like, if my kids have something to say to me, my kids can say it. If I have something to say to my kids, I can say it. But out of our conversations when you're there, if we need help, we will definitely consider you as a resource to repair our communication. But and it's different because for me, I'm always bringing you two together. It's like, say sorry to mom. If you don't have the words, I give the words to you. Like, this is how you're supposed to treat each other. It's totally different when someone's whispering to both of you, saying like, you're probably not going to want to be talking very long with your daughter, or like, you're probably not going to want to talk very much with your dad. Or, it's like, why? Don't be planting bad seeds. And don't be telling my kid to call me 2 or 3 minutes early when I already said that I'm calling them at precisely this time. Like, what are you doing? Don't interfere. It's like, yeah, you call dad. Don't do that. Find another way. Get on your elliptical, go on a walk, get a different hobby, but interfering with the communication between me and my daughters is not going to be a tolerated hobby. And if it's not a hobby and you understand, thank you very much. Now I believe everyone is caught up. Have a good night.